Hello, my fellow Rotarians, and welcome to episode 1 of the D6270 podcast. Woohoo! We have a podcast! How exciting is that? We are with the times and hip. My name is Christopher Ulrich. I am your district governor nominee. It was my birthday this weekend. I spent the whole of last week in Michigan visiting family, seeing all sorts of cousins, relaxing. Just wonderful. We drove home today. It took about 9 hours with pit stops because I've got 3 kids, and traffic was horrible, and all the things that you can possibly imagine. So at the time of recording this, it's pretty late at night. Because my kids are above me sleeping, I am down in my workshop, for those of you who are watching this podcast. Otherwise, just imagine yourself in a nice room full of good woodworking tools. This is often a space I go to when I have district Zooms or club Zooms, and they have my divided attention because I'm working on some project. But we're Rotarians, and we know how to multitask, don't we? It's wonderful. This is all to say, with my birthday, if you feel like getting me a gift, give Rotary a gift. The gift to the annual fund. Sorry, Rob Bassett, Polio Plus doesn't need it right now. We had a great year, and TRF always needs some extra cash because that money comes back to our district in 3 years so we can give out district grants, and you can continue the amazing projects you do in your own community. That'll be probably a topic for a future episode. Let me tell you a little bit about how these podcasts are going to be. This one, it will be shorter than most. This is a trial run to see how the format works, how the software works, how, really everything does, on my quality of my mic, etc. Usually we are going to have 1 or 2 guests. This should be one of the only episodes where it's just me. And we'll have a specific topic for them to talk about. Some upcoming ones, I can tell you, we're going to have Angelica joining us to talk about what it's like to be a third-generation Rotarian, recruiting younger members, and talking about her club's playground project. We're going to have Reggie coming to talk about the district magazine. He and I will talk about all things public image. Rob Bassett, I mentioned him earlier. He doesn't know this yet, but he's going to be a guest on the show too. We're going to talk about the world's biggest polio walk. We're going to talk about Polio Plus, World Polio Day. It's going to be the polio episode. Did you know I read an article this past week, either the last or one of the last people who was living in an iron lung diagnosed with polio in the 50s died. Can you imagine that? All the work that's been done since the 50s with the vaccine and then the distribution and everything that RI's done since that first project in the Philippines in, I think, 1979. How it's grown. How few cases there are. We are this close. The polio episode's going to be really good. They're all going to be really good. I'm hoping to come to you every second and fourth Sunday of the month. The format is going to be about 30 to 45 minutes because it's a podcast and you are driving your car listening to this, or you have it on while you are mowing the lawn, doing laundry, doing dishes. Maybe you're an audiophile and you're sitting in your den and you're way cooler than I am. Good for you. Wherever you are, you will get some regular stuff. And hopefully, they will inspire you. Right? Why are we bothering with a podcast? As part of our mission, we did a visioning session as a district back in April, envisioning where we would be in 2029. And part of that is that we would have more means of communication to reach our Rotarians where they want to be reached. Right? We're starting that. We've got a great district magazine. To add on top of that, we just started the District Minute. That's coming to you the first and third Sundays of every month, talking about news from the district and highlights from all the clubs around us. Because so often we just get focused on our own club and we don't necessarily know what our neighbors are doing. And that's such a shame because you might see something over there and think, hey, I can apply that in my club. And then you can reach out to them and steal shamelessly because that is beneficial to all concerned. We're all Rotarians trying to do good in our communities. So to get that news out there and reach people, and then the podcast adds to that. It's part of our approach to, talk about Rotary topics. This will allow us to talk about things at greater length. Like I said, those topics I talked about earlier, or a Tricon episode, or a history of Rotary, or promoting your goals, promoting the Speakers Bureau. We got all sorts of great ideas, things that you'll want to listen to at great length. So that's going to be the forecast, or the format of the podcast. And the goal is that you'll just listen. Give us some feedback. I'll take it. If you want to submit a shout-out or any kind of news that you want me to say in the podcast, you can email me, ulrich.christopher@gmail.com. All of my details are on our district website. If you don't have that bookmarked, I think you should. RI Club President Yinka is an amazing public speaker. He's a really cool leader. If you haven't heard him speak yet, my goodness, do you need to. You can find him on YouTube. You can listen to a podcast, Rotary Voices. He was just in the last episode. Check your emails. We get stuff, everybody gets stuff from RI all the time. And there are voice snippets from Yinka talking in there. He's a really cool guy. I had a chance to meet him during Midwest Pets. But he is promoting that everybody tells their Rotary story, actively calling on all members to share their stories of how Rotary has transformed them, describing these personal experiences as the organization's greatest invitation to grow membership and drive community impact. And I couldn't agree more. Yinka's going to talk about that. Our district governor, Dawn, is talking about that. She is going around. Man, she's been a busy lady. I think this last week she had 6 or 7 places she needed to go to. So when you see her, if you haven't met her, you're going to love her, and you are going to hear her Rotary story, and I hope you are inspired to share yours, not just so you can get to know each other in the club better, but share your stories out in the community, because that's what connects with people, and that's what hopefully draws them in to see what we're about and to see how Rotary can bring out the best in themselves in our community. So to that extent, every podcast, sure, they'll have, we're going to have a topic that we're talking about, but every guest is going to share their Rotary story. So I'm going to begin with my Rotary story, trying to keep it brief. I've been a Rotarian for about 12 years. I started coming as a guest to Southwest Rotary in Oshkosh in 2014. I was working for an ad agency, and I came because, like a lot of us do, I needed some contacts. I wanted to network and maybe drive some sales. And I left there after 90 days because I was a terrible salesman for an ad agency. And I went and I worked for a nonprofit up in Appleton, New Voices Choir, and I worked there for many years. And so the nonprofit sector is my bread and butter. But I was working in Appleton, and my board of directors was saturated in that market. And they said, why don't you join NINA? So I joined the Rotary Club of NINA. I started coming as a guest at the end of 2014, October time. Joni Johnson was my sponsor. Shout out to Joni. She worked for Community First Credit Union, and she was a music lover for the choir that I was with. Do you remember sponsors? Does your club still do sponsors? I still think they're really important. Anyways, I officially joined NINA Rotary in January of 2015. And I was with them for 8 years. I was club president in 2019-20 and 2020-21. 2 years back to back. And they were, dun dun dun, the COVID years. Ooh. Wasn't that exciting? But I'm so thankful every day. And you all know this. Nobody goes it alone in Rotary. And I had an amazing board and so many inspiring mentors that had me under their wing, and we got through it. I'm so thankful to Pam Seidel, who was the president right before me, and Seth Merrill, who became the president after my term was done, and everybody else who was on the board. They were just so supportive when we got through, and I think we were actually one of the 5 clubs in the district that year who actually received a citation for growth for various things. But I remember those days, and my thought about it, aside from the Zoom meetings and the masks, everyone in the club who was there wanted to be there. And we were participating at different levels, of course, right? You've got the people like me who are on the board and who want to do all the volunteering, and then the people who can come when they can and make it. And every Rotarian is important, and everyone who was there wanted to be there. And that was a good memory. I'll keep that. That's a core memory. But I left NINA Rotary in 2022, at the end of the 21-22 year, and I received the Jack Grist Award. It was their highest honor, and I cried like a baby, and it was beautiful. And I have that in a very special place. And I wanted to come back home because I've always lived in Oshkosh, and the time just seemed right for various reasons. My family was growing, and eventually I wanted to get involved with hosting inbound youth exchange students. I was an international student in Germany, not through Rotary, but that experience changed my life, and I want to participate in that as a parent, hosting kids. And you should live in the district I think you need to live in the district where your kid is, or your inbound student is. So I needed to be in Oshkosh. It was time to move. And it was a hard decision, but an important one. And Oshkosh has 3 clubs. We have a satellite club now, Rotary on the Oshkosh on the Water, best name. They meet infrequently, great group of people. There was Oshkosh Southwest that I ended up joining, and what we lovingly call the Downtown Club. It's officially the Rotary Club of Oshkosh, the oldest one, over 100 years. Pretty cool. I joined Southwest for a couple of different reasons. I love Downtown Club. I still go as a guest. But Southwest had really good communication, especially at that time when I was searching, a really up-to-date newsletter. And in the months when I was going, they were promoting all the community service projects that you could be a part of. And that was important to me because I am not overly wealthy. I cannot write checks to support things. I have to use my hands and my time. And so Southwest offered that to me in a level that I really wanted. So I joined Rotary Oshkosh Southwest in 2022-23 was the first year. And since then, I have, in the last couple of years, I decided I want to get more involved at the district level. So that I was an assistant governor, Nina, Menasha, and then Oshkosh. And eventually, I put myself forth as a candidate for district governor. I didn't do the marketing for that, though. Marketing's not the right word. Did you know it's actually the board of directors of the clubs that promotes a person for district governor, and then there's an interview process. And it's different across the world how they do that, but it's a really smart way. Maybe that's a topic for a future podcast. But I was humbled to accept the district governor nominee designate role last year, and now I'm your district governor nominee. And in the future, I hope to do things at the RI level as well. I'm really interested in the foundation. I work for the Community Foundation in Oshkosh and for a nonprofit. So I have written grants and I have given out grants at various levels. And I love it. So it's pretty competitive to get into that. I doubt I'll get in right away, but we'll see. One of the perks here, one of the obligations, perks, depends on how you look at it, of being in this DG line is you get to go to all these great conventions. You know, PETS, President-elect Training, which we get to coordinate, Tri-Con, and also Zone, which is where you get to meet these district governor and other leadership people from all of these districts coming together. And that's where I know I'm going to make the right contacts and hopefully continue to serve at higher levels. I don't know. We'll see what our regional director, Tom Gump, can suggest. But either way, Rotary is an awesome organization, and I think it's one of those places where it will let you go as far as you want to go. And so it's a privilege to be here with you now. That's my Rotary story, past, present, and potentially future. But for now, we are coming at you with this podcast. Let me tell you a little bit about some current projects that I've been working on, or at least been a part of. We talked about the visioning session that happened back in April, and that was excellent. Where do we want to be in 2029? So I get to work on some aspects of that. Communication, I'm part of the public image team. We talked about the District Minute. We talked about the podcast. It works so well with Reggie's District Magazine, right? We have got a lot of ways to reach you, and we're proud of that. I also got to lead a mission and vision project with some awesome Rotarians. Let's see, that was Jillian Leggett, Reggie Parks, Ben Zhang, and Pete Murray. And we spent some time hashing out an actual vision and mission for our district. If you go to our website, you don't see anything that's specific for us. Not every district does it. These will be adopted by the board, and they will be put forth on our website and in communications for people like me who like that kind of stuff. And a lot of our club Rotarians are nonprofit leaders or are nonprofit minded, so they understand the importance of what a mission and vision should be for the people who want to read that. We had a couple drafts. Here's the refined mission. And to remind you, a mission, it's the core purpose of the business. It's why we exist. It's the reason that we have been set up. The mission defines the why behind what we do. So our mission. District 6270 strengthens clubs, develops leaders, and connects people in service to expand Rotary's impact in our communities and throughout the world. Beautiful, isn't it? It was much longer. It got refined. And then our vision. And a reminder what a vision is, it's an aspirational statement, a statement of where we want to be in the future. A great vision looks ahead, is purposefully ambitious, and realistically stretchy. So here's our refined vision statement. District 6270 is a welcoming and inclusive Rotary community where every member is valued, every club thrives, and people work together to create lasting local and global impact through community service and leadership. I'm really proud of the work that we did to get those there. And you might think, oh great, it's just one thing. And maybe it is. And it doesn't mean anything unless we make it mean anything. So that's why I'm saying this will be adopted by the board and go into our messaging. And as we do these visioning sessions every several years, we'll keep it up to date. So I hope you like that. And thank you to the Rotarians who worked on it with me. If you have anything you want to talk about or you want to be talked about in the podcast, you can submit things to me at my email, ulrich.christopher@gmail.com. You can find my contact information on our Rotary District website, which you should have bookmarked. If you don't, it's rotary6270.org. We've got our district info and directory and all that kind of stuff up there. I would love to hear from you. And if you want to be a guest, you should let me know as well. I think that's it for today. So we will have guests in the future and potentially a script to read from, potentially not. But I hope you like this. I know it was rambly. Thank you for trying something new. I would like to see, by December, maybe 50 downloads an episode. And I'd love to hear from those of you who have listened, because feedback is how we grow. And let's all together make this a meaningful thing for our district. Thank you very much. Let's end together, wherever you are, with a 4-way test of all that we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thanks, everyone. You guys are the best. I love Rotary. Peace out.